Let's discuss today about business correspondence. As verbal communication is important, formal communication is important, business correspondence is equally important. Before entering a business, before entering into a business word, official word, we should know certain details about it. So let's start with discussing some internal business correspondence and external business correspondence. These are the things which we'll be discussing here. We by now we know that modes of communication are of two kinds, verbal and non-verbal. Verbal, something what we are doing right now. Non-verbal are majorly written words, written work we do, and otherwise it's the gestures which we are making. So they both come into non-verbal. Starting with the style of communication, it's generally divided into four categories. There are four categories. People out there, they uh, communicate and understand things in a very different manner. So basically, they're divided into passive aggressive, and assertive. So, who are passive? Those who express themselves less and they never indulge in any kind of conflict or confrontation. Aggressive, those who are very dominating, busy blaming others and criticizing others so that they can dominate and have very poor listening skills. Passive and aggressive are those who may not be verbally expressive, but their body says a lot. They are the silent treatment givers. Assertive are the ones who express themselves and respect other person's feelings and expressions both. But when it comes to IGNOU, they have covered the categories like relators, socializers, thinkers, and directors. Now, who are relators? Those who are into good interpersonal skills. They are good relationship builders, good at listening, they completely avoid arguments, and they are the ones who with whom everybody get along well. Socializers are the highly enthusiastic and energetic people with good social skills. They are the ones who motivate the team, and all they don't run away from the conflicts. Rather, they believe in this constructive arguments, something which can bring some goodness, some positivity, and they focus on the larger picture. Thinkers are quite serious ones. They are more logical. They work on facts. They work on too much of details that they lose the sight of a bigger picture. Director is the one who's again aggressive, more into leading and dominating, but they're busy achieving their goals. Coming to the next is what we'll be covering in the internal business correspondences. What are memos? What are office orders, and what is the difference between circular? So memo is basically a memorandum, which is a short message which is used in office for internal purpose only. It's a organized message, basically like a at short interval given that what will be the meeting schedule tomorrow or maybe in the evening, some change in the policy which has to be implemented shortly. Some reminders can be given through memorandum. The format is to whom you are addressing, who is sending that, the date, and in few lines you can tell what you are basically want to convey. Office orders are basically from seniors to the juniors. It's considered a downward communication. Important information are shared like what will be the working shift, what are the positions and promotions, right of employees, something related to salaries could have been given from seniors to the juniors. There is a heading, there is a main body of the message, and then signature from the authorities. Coming to the circulars, as we have been receiving in our school and colleges, it's about spreading into large number of people, contains important information, and example is given. It could be an invitation to a department, which is circulated. Next, we'll be covering what are notice, what are agendas, and what are minutes. Notice, as you all know, is we have seen in school and colleges that they are displayed on the notice board. It is to inform in advance about some event upcoming so that everybody in that place knows about it. And it is always not in a few sentences you convey the message, the dates are mentioned, days are mentioned, the purposes are mentioned. So we all know what notices are. Coming to the agenda is always given before the meeting happens. What is covers is that what will be there in the meeting, those who are attending, the participants should be aware about it, what prior knowledge is expected from them, and you should also tell them that what will be the objective of the meeting, what is expected out of that meeting. Now, minutes of meeting is a written recorded document. That means a person in the meeting is sitting just to note down who all has attended the meeting, what are the main issues which are raised, what are the given responses, and the final decision which was made, to whom what work has been assigned, what achievement has been made by any particular department, and what are the deadlines of the work assigned. So this is a written document kept in the meeting. Coming to the external business correspondence. So far we have discussed what is done in an office amongst the employees. Now, if you have to talk to somebody else outside your office, so it can be done in form of letters. It is categorized in informative and persuasive. Routine letters, sales letter, letters of special purposes and problem letters come under this. Now, what are routine letters? They include basically general inquiries, quotations, orders, payments. Promotionals are basically the flyers, catalog, proposals, follow-up letters. Special purposes are could be to related to your jobs if you're applying somewhere. If you're writing to some agency, it could be government, it could be private, it could be public. You are approaching banks or certain agents, or simply if you're inquiring about some status or if you're making an inquiry. Now, problem letters are basically complaints or follow-ups, concessions, discounts, you're looking for, or pending payments. Now come back to the detailing of it. How to draft a letter and how to draft an email. We'll discuss that very quickly here. The important points is that when you're writing, understand the other person has very less time, and it's better to keep your written document, whether it's mail or letter, concise, short, to the point, but make sure that it's not blunt. Your choice of words should be very soft and approachable. Coming to the formats, let's talk about salutation. Salutation, as you know, it's an important part of the letter. The choice of the right salutation depends whether you know the person whom you're writing, or if you have a formal or informal relationship or less formal. Now, for example, we write to whom it may concern when we are giving a letter as an institution to some student, some candidate, right? When we don't know where they'll be using. If you are writing to somebody in a position but you don't have their contact, when you don't have their name, then better use sir or madam. When you're starting your letter, there are two ways in which business letter usually start. Either you're making reference to a previous contact or phone conversation or meeting held or mail given, or you're making it for the very first time. So in case you have a previous contact, a line you can use is, I am writing regarding your inquiry about your phone conversation. I'm writing in reply to your request, or I'm writing to thank you for contacting us. Something like this. And in case you're contacting the recipient for the first time, so I'm writing to inform you that, I'm writing to confirm, inquire about, I'm writing to complain about, I'm contacting you for the following reasons. So these are the certain sentences you can start with. Now, what is the purpose of letter? Are you either you're making a request, or you're giving some good news, or there is something sad you wish to inform them. So accordingly, I have segregated into sentences. We would appreciate if you would. I would be grateful if you could, something like this. And in case you're sharing something happy news, we are pleased to announce, I'm delighted to inform. And in case it's something sad, then you regret, the words like regret, unfortunate should be used. Ending of letter could be with, if you have certain attachments, you can mention it in bold. These are the enclosures, or as we use PFA, please find attached, or please find enclosed. Offering future assistance is, if you require more information, please let us know. This is should be your ending letter or email. Please do not hesitate to contact us. Something there which gives them reassurance that yes, you are approachable. Referring to future contact, I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. This is something which is making the other person feel that they have to contact you back, if that is your approach. Accordingly you can end your letter. Now closing is something which people usually do not usually overlook, but it is an important thing. Like closing salutation should be accordingly. If you are writing to whom it may concern, or dear sir or ma'am, yours sincerely, sincerely yours, respectfully could be written. And when you are writing with the name, dear and name, sincerely is okay. And kind regards, warm regards when things are not very formal, and best wishes if it is even less formal. When it comes to email writing, subject line is crucial because it depends whether your mail will be opened or not. Urgent and important are the subject lines which are gone. We should be at least mentioning what the mail is all about. So, subject line is very important. Mention at least the theme of your mail. Salutation means directly address the person you are sending mail to. It's always used in formal email messages, but sometimes kept in informal messages. The introduction, the opening of a formal email often requires a sender to introduce themselves. In case you are sending it for the very first time, so you should introduce yourself, right? So that the other person knows who has sent them and what is the purpose. Body means that the purpose is described in short, that what is the purpose. Before, after you have introduced yourself, you should be telling what the reason of writing that email is. It includes detailed information, detailed purpose, clearly but concisely, right? If your reader is not familiar, you should make sure that your mail is clear enough and not leaving them confused or misunderstood. Now, closing is something in emails. Again, the closing part is always ignored, but you have to make a lasting impression. Though, do not take it very lightly. When you're closing, you should have your full name, contact, designation, information, titles with your professional signatures added, so that in case they want to contact you, it is always there in the mail. So, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. At least you got updated on something new today, and will help you somewhere down the line future in your life. Thank you for watching.